What's your guys' favorite chains?
It looks like Matt rebooted, just crashed right there. Matt's gonna be like, I like Donato's and Pizza Hut.
I'm gonna probably go with Pizza Hut. I know I'm outside the box on that one.
Didn't I say? It? Thank you for proving me right.
Like what Chad said.
Hello, and welcome to Updog Sports Talk. My name is Matt Miller. Joining me today, as usual, is Chad Bunt.
That's me.
And Justin McGovern.
What's up, everybody?
And today we have legendary Dungeon Master and big-time Chicago sports fan, Joe Hargett. What's going on, Joe?
Don't feel sorry for me. I do it all on my own.
You were just born into this, weren't you?
I segue into it, right? Like nerddom, yes. Chicago Bears fan, yes. Like it's all there.
3 out of the 4 of us actually do play D&D and follow sports.
I'm the one that doesn't.
Join us, Justin. Join us.
Yeah, join us, Justin. Quit being nerdy in a whole new way.
Out of the 4 of us, I would have expected Justin to be playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I know, right? Just looking at me, but nope.
You even look like a goblin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Wait, Matt, what in the world happened to your blonde tips? They were here last week. What happened to them?
No, they're still frosted. I can tell.
Yeah, they're a little frosted. It's not as bad.
Justin's been waiting for 2 weeks to say that to you.
Yeah.
No, we talked about this last week.
Yeah, that was last week that you hopped on. That you said that I looked like Marv from Home Alone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You look like the long lost Backstreet Boy.
I think it's more Guy Fieri without the gel.
Less Flavor Town.
Less Flavor Town. more salt and paprika and everything.
I think that's gross. Did Matt freeze for you guys? This is a great start to the show, by the way.
Okay. All right, Justin, you're the new host. Run us through.
All right. So, as you can tell by the fact that we brought a Bears fan on, we are going to be talking about the NFC North today. A little bit of housekeeping here. We're going to be going in reverse order of where they finished last year. So, going to kick this thing off with the Chicago Bears. Joe will be telling us why he's so excited about his team here in a moment. Then we'll talk about the Minnesota Vikings, the Green Bay Packers, and finally wrapping it up with the Detroit Lions and Motor City Dan Campbell. Joe, how about you lead us on our way here with the Chicago Bears?
Yes, sir. You got it. Actually, really quick, Justin, can you say Detroit one more time?
Detroit.
Oh, okay. All right. Love that. Okay. Best for first. Yes. So there's been a lot of change, right? There's been a whole lot of turnover. There's a lot of new bodies. I think the big couple of things that people have been a little speculative on. So first and foremost, why is Matt Eberflus still in town, right? Will Caleb really kind of show up? Is he the guy? Is everyone speculating that he's the guy that has past 20 years of drafts have kind of cooked up? So are things coming to a culmination in that? There's a lot of questions, and tomorrow's the Hall of Fame game, and football is on the horizon, guys. I'm just excited. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, no, we're almost here.
So, you guys hear me?
Yeah,
we hear you.
My router decides that 8:00 on Wednesdays is the best time to reset, and I don't know why it's doing that.
It's like, okay, it's your Updog recording time. Time to shut it down.
Something like that.
So anyways, Chad, I'm sure you have a little bit of a different take on Caleb Williams.
I feel like I'm going to be really, really rude here, but I feel the complete opposite about the Bears. I think, there's 2 Matts now.
Oh, no. Wait, there's 3. Oh, no. We have multiple Matts. Oh, no.
I've watched Caleb Williams in college, and now he's going to professional. And I don't think Caleb Williams is the man. He hasn't He's gone 500 in college. Yeah, he won a Heisman, but I feel like the field was diluted. I don't know if the Bears made the right choice. Personally, if I was going to draft Caleb Williams, I probably would have fired the coach and the GM and just started fresh, get a whole new organization. But they're going to keep the same coaches and same front office. They did keep DJ Moore, which I love him. They gave him $100 million. And I like DeAndre Swift and Keenan Allen and Roma. It all, like, I see where they're going with it, but they have no offensive line. And I think my biggest problem with the Bears is they gave Justin Fields nobody to protect him, no weapons in his time in Chicago. The man could barely do anything. And when he had nothing, that's when he ran for like 175 yards and was tearing it up, right?
Yeah.
And I think personally, I know I'm an Ohio State fan, but I don't think I would have moved on from that big of an investment. They traded up to get him. Like, I don't think the Bears are going to do it this year. Personally, I think I guarantee they're firing the coaches this year, at least.
And there's speculation for that, right? Like, there's plenty of people on Bears, like within the community that are still naysaying. Like, I don't like Caleb. I don't like the nails. I don't like how he expresses himself.
Yeah,
he's got 8 Super Bowls as a goal on his phone.
I mean, it's just like reminiscent of Jamarcus Russell for me, and like I think his ego's way too big. He's coming into this. Like I said, he hasn't done anything, and he's like demanding like percentages of the team, and he wants to be paid in special ways, and it's just like this guy's ego is going to be in the way. He hasn't proven anything. It's either do it or don't this year, and I think if he doesn't show any signs this year, then it's going to be like we made a huge mistake.
Yeah, honestly, like, I see what they're doing. I like the direction they're headed.
I love the running backs and wide receivers. I love it.
Yeah.
Adding Gerald Everett's great.
They learned their lesson from Justin Fields. They learned to give their quarterback weapons, but
that's fucked up. Pardon my language. That's fucked up. They waited his whole career so far, and then do something.
The only thing is, Caleb Williams is a highlight player. He wants to make the big play every time, so he'd rather throw it to the new $110 million receiver in DJ Moore 40 yards down the field in triple coverage than get the first down with his legs or throw it on the crossing route. So, like, I don't think his decision making is that good, and they are really young on defense. I think they're going to end up getting torched a lot, and they don't have an offensive line. Like, when Ryan Bates is possibly your best move on offensive line, then yeah, it's not a good look. But I do like that they got Torrey Taylor. They're going to be punting a lot, and that guy knows.
They're going to need that one.
Yeah.
This is the only punter I ever put up on here, just because I was hoping at some point one of us would talk about Torrey Taylor. The one thing that worries me is, like, I'm seeing a pattern with the Bears. When they drafted Caleb Williams was during Matt Nagy's lame duck year, and now potentially we're looking at the exact same thing with Eberflus potentially being in a lame duck year. Why do they keep drafting quarterbacks at the end of someone's time instead of at the beginning? It's very strange.
They better be committed to Eberflus.
And I think that's the speculation. Eberflus has built the locker room. He's built the culture. He is there, like, stood fast. And I'm hoping that's kind of reflected at least a little bit in Hard Knocks. I mean, granted, they show what they want to show on Hard Knocks, right? That's not always.
Yeah.
But I really hope that's something that's kind of emphasized. I feel like you were able to see a little behind the curtain with the Lions and on how Motor City Dan Campbell was able to, like, really establish a culture, the grit, all of that stuff behind it. And I really think we'll be able to see a bit more of that as Hard Knocks reveals itself. But again,
you can find some of it on YouTube. Did you, or and Twitter? Did you see the pass to Keenan Allen yesterday?
No.
So they were running this drill, and I think it was more for goal line, but they were in the middle of the field for space.
Fair.
So I think it was just quarterbacks and receivers, and they wanted Caleb Williams to just lob it up. You can actually hear Keenan Allen go, "Hell nah," on one of the lobs, and it was so short that he just literally had to stop his route and walk in to grab it.
Bummer.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, and Matt, I think you nailed it with
preseason, right? That's what growing pains are for, right?
That's a pretty big thing.
Yeah, but that's not the type of throw you want to see from a number 1 overall pick. That's
huge investment.
That's the type of throw you see from like a 5th or 6th round pick just hoping to make the roster.
Or Daniel Jones.
Or that too. Or Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow had a few of those too.
We'll see. There's a lot of speculation. I think the biggest thing that people have been saying about in camp overall as a whole is that Caleb is capable, right? And I'm not looking for Peyton Manning here. I'm looking for. I'm hoping. Let's say I'm hoping. I'm hoping for Trevor, right? If Trevor Lawrence pops out with this kind of thing, and he's got better receivers off the bat, O-line sketchy, yes, but like his pocket awareness with that kind of thing is doable, right? So
a fullback named Kari Blazingame.
Yes. Game. Yes. But yeah, I think the O-line continues to be a speculative issue. D-line continues to be a speculative issue. Can Javon Dexter make the next step up? Do we have the D-lines on staff, DNs on staff to actually work through? So there's speculation. People are still wondering if we're going to sign Yannick Ngakoue. That's a thing. And we're just kind of passing things around. That being said, there's a lot to hope for about this team. The overall impression is that like things got better, right? Granted, there were a couple, let's call them incidents about last season where our offensive coordinator was not great. The defensive coordinator left. That's the whole thing. And I think, honestly, the whole team kind of fell apart and restarted as a whole. Montez Sweat came into town. So that was kind of the saving grace, I would argue. But again, we won't know until they take the field and see how things go.
So I do think
the big thing is the Chicago Bears are going to be fun. Like there really aren't many times where I can think about, there's been times when the Bears have been good, but led by defense. Mm-hmm. There's been the Bears are just bad and very bad on offense. This is a time where, like, they're at the very least, they're going to be fun. And I think that's a huge thing for the Chicago Bears.
Cardinals a little bit too, right? Like the Cardinals, like smaller market, not as well known, right? But at the same time, like they're going to be a heck of a team to watch, right? You might not have been able to stomach many games in the past year or so, but like things have turned around, I think, to a degree where it's just going to be like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to sit here and watch it unfold, right?
Yeah. I do think Matt absolutely nailed it, Caleb Williams, though. Exactly what I was going to say about him. I think the most worrisome thing was watching USC in the Holiday Bowl with Miller Moss. And honestly, their offense looks smoother, a more well-oiled machine with the backup quarterback than it did with Caleb Williams last year.
And they have
that is where that concern was.
Bigger, meatier men.
He just kept trying to take the big plays and wouldn't take the small plays. He's going to have to learn that real quick in the NFL. Like, you need to take that 7-yard out to Keenan Allen every once in a while. You're not going to be able to bomb it to a Dunze or more the entire time.
And those are the questions. And honestly, in my opinion, I think I think it's going to be more like Keenan Allen's down there somewhere. Just toss the rock. But but overall, as a whole, I think that's kind of the tougher thing. But like, if there was someone that I were to choose that, like, okay, Mitch, Justin, Caleb, which one of you can actually like make reads? Which one of you can actually go down, like make the dinks and dunks and the small plays and do the boring things, right? Out of the three of them, I'd probably say Caleb would probably be the. Again, haven't seen him play. on an NFL field, but I'd be willing to speculate of all people that have put in the work, understand how the game operates, and within the system that he's operating in as a whole, I would say I put money on that, frankly. But again,
let me put it to you this way. So, say you only change one thing in the draft. Instead of drafting Caleb Williams, you draft Marvin Harrison.
Yep.
As suggested. You put him on the field with DJ Moore, and you already got Keenan Allen, and then you draft Rome as well. Think about that. The 4 wide receivers you would have. You would never have a tight end. You throw the ball anywhere.
I mean, Pokemon.
Be salary cap hell in 4 years, that's for sure.
You'd probably be competing for
but by then you'll have a good quarterback. So who cares?
Right? That's the speculation, right? So if we hit the window and Caleb turns out to be good, not even like who people think he is, just like good, right? Like Jordan Love, right? If he and him can duke it out for the most part and compete at that level, cool, great. Yes, that does set the window. I think defense is probably just a couple pieces away, right? And again, I think the idea is that like we're segueing into 2024 to be ready for 2025. Again, assuming Caleb becomes that person.
So, yeah. Joe, you segued perfectly into the defense for me. I think the Bears made like a bunch of big splashes last season trying to shore up the weak spots because they got rid of Roquan Smith. But like TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds, like they were okay, but they didn't live up to the how much money they were being paid. And when you pay them that much, they gotta perform a little bit better than that. But then on offense, like you're giving Keenan Allen a decent amount of money, and who knows what he is now. You've never seen Rome Odunze on a NFL field. And then DeAndre Swift, lackluster last year, kind of been pretty bad the past couple years. Khalil Herbert.
He'll be like the main pass catching. I don't think he'll be like the mover or anything like that. That's probably Roschon.
Yeah, but like, wouldn't you want like how much you invested in Roschon? Wouldn't you want to see him more in the run game? Because then you have Khalil Herbert too, and there's too many mouths to feed on a team that kind of, they don't have an identity right now, and especially with a quarterback with so many question marks.
That's a hard part to kind of like really feel through, right? It's a great question, right? Like, how do things settle out? And I think the idea is like, let's just give him targets. Let's give him his running back that can bail him out if necessary. Let's give him Keenan Allen, who is your starting early QB's best friend, right? And that helped develop Justin Herbert to some degree, right? So,
but that's a little too logical for Caleb Williams, because if he continues to play like he tried to in college, he's going to end up being Jamarcus Russell.
So here's what I've heard, and this is the speculation that I've come across from a couple other sources and whatnot, is that like in a certain way, like his senior year, Caleb was bored. Right? Like, you only have so much to do. You only have so much time to get rid of the ball. Go for the big play. Big game hunt. Get it done. Right? When you don't necessarily have the receiving core that's capable, right? Sorry, there's a son. Sorry, dude. But when you don't necessarily have the receiving core, you don't necessarily have the line, you're automatically considered the best player on your team without much conversation. That's not a whole lot of support, man.
Yeah, but if you're gonna go number one and want to be successful in the NFL, like maybe his goal was just to go number one, but like I feel like maybe it's just because I'm in my 30s and I have a different outlook now than I did when I was his age. But like I feel like I would want to work to become even better than I was in college and work on the things that I may have been lacking at Oklahoma and my first year at USC. Like, instead of just taking those shots and becoming complacent, because that's now what he has become used to.
I mean, he was the favorite to get the Heisman again, right?
Yeah.
He was supposed to win it last year, and he wasn't even in a finalist, right?
No. And if he would have just done his job, then everybody would have just been like, okay, he's doing the right thing, but it's on his receivers instead of
Line.
instead of it being like him holding the ball too long, him throwing the ball 40, 50 yards down the field in triple coverage and it getting picked off. Like he's a big reason why they had 4 losses at USC. And like the standard is typically pretty high there. I mean, I guess the Bears have a lower standard because they haven't had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards or a quarterback that's thrown for 30 touchdowns.
Exactly.
And when your best quarterback is named Jay Cutler, then I think that
Cutler.
Yeah, like you just take the hype because that's the most hype you've seen out of a quarterback that's fallen to you in a long time.
And I mean, like on the reverse side, like Patriots, right? Like I'd probably say Patriots are in a very similar situation where they have Drake May, who dude can throw the ball from anywhere, make any red of the start of play. Didn't have much of anything on his team either, right? So I'll be curious to see how like both scenarios kind of pan out a little bit, because in the Bears' realm, right, they've covered everything virtually except maybe O-line, right? You have the receivers, you have the running back, you have the tight ends, you have anyone you want to throw to, right? So you can make the plays, like in theory, right?
There should be no excuses,
Yeah.
Exactly.
at this point. I mean, if they don't perform this year, I mean, seriously, you have to have a serious conversation about the organization and where it's going.
Sure.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
he's a huge investment.
So, as the Bears fan, for Eberflus and Poles, how many wins? How many wins do they need this year
to survive?
Yeah.
I think Poles has cemented himself. I really don't. I think getting rid of Poles is an awful move, no matter who you are. The moves he's made, the ways he's been able to do things, like the Panthers, man. I mean, granted, like we owe Lovie Smith our lives, but like Poles has made moves. So I think he stays, no matter what. No matter how bad. Ryan Poles stays. His staff, Ian Cunningham, right? Like they have become such a tandem and a combo together that you can't go wrong with that. And I think no matter what, the nucleus is still there as a whole. Eberflus, hard to say. I was kind of on the fence. I probably would admit I was one of the people scratching my head and be like why didn't we, why that? And to be fair, you could argue culture, you could argue mindset, you could argue a little continuity, but that is the problem as the Bears organization, right? We do things backwards. We get the QB, and then we start over, and then we get the GM, and then we get the quarterback, and then we get the Q, and then it starts all over again, right? It's a vicious cycle. It's very.
So do you think Eberflus will be the linebacker coach for Bill Belichick's staff in New York for the Giants next year?
Maybe secondaries coach, cornerbacks, I think.
Yeah.
Specialty.
For me, if Eberflus wants to stick around, he's got to at least equal what he did last year.
I think he has to go.
I don't think he can equal it. I think he has to do better. I'm thinking at least 7 or 8, probably.
Well, he had 7 wins last year. So if he has at least 7 wins this year, you keep him for one more year. If he doesn't, he's gone. And if he goes above that, then you keep
I personally think he has to be above 500, at least one game over 500.
Yeah, my original benchmark when I asked that question was I was expecting 9.
You trade away your top 5 pick, that's a huge investment. You got Caleb Williams, another huge investment. You just gave DJ Moore $110 million. They brought in Keenan Allen. I mean, I'm sure they're paying Rome too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is, if they can't perform, this is a lot of money they're just holding.
No, true.
Are the Bears, are they well off as far as teams go? I don't know.
No. Caskies have a reputation for being a little stingy. Not stingy as the Bengals, but
yeah. Well, we're small.
Yeah.
Mike
It's
Brown's
a-
the stingiest owner in the NFL.
Yeah, dude, it's okay.
Yeah.
We know what we are. But that's what I'm saying. It's like that's a lot of money to be holding, sitting there with nothing.
True.
I mean,
No. And
But
pension has to happen.
but we can go from one shitty NFC North team to another.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
Oh,
talk about
yeah.
the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm
There we
excited
go.
for this one.
Joe, will let you lead us off here.
I think we can almost wash, rinse, repeat a little bit, right? Like receiving core, new quarterback, defense is up and coming, youngerish team. Does it sound like I'm saying something else a little bit? We're bringing it over
The similarities.
now. That being said, Kevin O'Connell, I think, has established himself as I don't want to say like offensive mastermind, right? Not quite Sean McVay or Shanahan territory, but I think there
He
is
made Kirk Cousins look like the 8th best quarterback in the NFL. So
and an aging Kirk Cousins at that, who
yeah.
complains about his ribs a lot, according to a show on Netflix. But honestly, I think a lot can be said about the Vikings. They don't seem to do things normally. They have recently invested a lot in their smoking hot receiver, and it remains to be seen how well that pans out. Now, that being said, based on recent contracts, I don't think that's the most boneheaded move of the summer. We'll talk about that eventually. But at the same time, it remains to be seen how well this team can perform when you're being operated by Sam Darnold.
That's
Yeah.
that's the thing. That's what I was about to say is I think it all comes down to that quarterback position for them. I like Aaron Jones. Obviously, retaining Justin Jefferson's huge, although I think they can only do that for so long before they have to trade him. But I don't know if you guys have seen anything about this. So they're fully committed. Darnold hasn't done it anywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then their backup options to that, which means at some point in the season they're going to bench Sam Darnold for J.J. McCarthy. And have you seen what J.J. McCarthy's been doing? He's been just floating ducks out there. Whack.
So
I saw. Okay, so J.J. McCarthy's bad highlights were the first bad highlights I saw, other than Danny Dimes. This whole
Dimes
offseason.
is just as bad.
Basically, J.J. McCarthy didn't make any reads and just threw it to the first guy, looked at them the whole time.
And I think
the throws were terrible.
I think people, at least the quote I've heard is J.J. McCarthy's making the easy things look easy, which is what you want to see from a developing QB, right? You want to make sure that they like continue to consume and work and go through all that jazz.
Let's put the chips on the table now, guys. Let's do each of us vote here. Do you think J.J. McCarthy is going to be a successful quarterback in the NFL?
No.
I'm going to go with yes. I was not high on him entering the draft. I thought he was very raw and needed development, but I like where he landed. I think landing here of Kevin O'Connell will eventually get him there.
Justin,
O'Connell's
hold on. This is very important. Justin, we have our first air of the episode.
Oh, yes. What is
Dalton Risner is actually on the team.
Damn it, Justin.
What in the world?
He came from the Broncos. Well, I guess he was there last year, but
Vikings.
You sure you're not looking at the 2023 depth chart?
You name a good prominent Vikings guard, and you really can't, right? So it's tough.
Yeah.
That's fair, but at the same time, like, you see who they lost. The main ones are Quessenberry, Daniil Hunter, Davenport. The rest, you can get by with losing. Kirk Cousins, I mean, it was stability at the QB position, so you are starting over there, but like, I wouldn't say Madison is a long-term option anywhere for running back. KJ Osborne, good locker room guy, probably adds a little bit of depth too to receiver, but losing him isn't like end all be all.
Definitely.
My thing for them is the receivers aren't deep. Running backs are aging. I mean, you got Ty Chandler, who's young, and he's kind of proven himself, but Aaron Jones is aging.
But still got it.
Yeah. But offensive line, they're getting better. Aaron, Sam Darnold, he is the same age that Aaron Rodgers was when Aaron Rodgers took over the Packers. So not saying that Sam Darnold is going to be absolutely amazing, but
You
if
heard
there's
it here
one place,
first. Sam Darnold equals Aaron Rodgers by Matt Miller on Updog Sports Talk.
but I am going to say that because he wasn't given a true opportunity in San Francisco, like nobody expected him to even play last season. So Shanahan couldn't do much with him because they're committed to Purdy. I know the Vikings are committed to McCarthy, but watch for Sam Darnold to actually surprise some people this year. I don't think McCarthy's going to be that great in the NFL. I think that he got used to winning in college in an easy conference with one opponent, maybe two that you got to play. If they want to succeed, they should go out and go get like another big blue chip running back and then just have like you run the ball a lot, you run a lot of halfback screens, and you get Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison the ball. TJ Hawkinson in the red zone.
But could you afford like a blue chip at this point, right? Could they have swung for the fences and signed Saquon?
Yeah.
Yeah, because running backs aren't that expensive.
And they have a lot of money out there.
Bad for that market, man. Feel real bad.
But I do like what they're doing on defense. Like they're getting rid of.
I love Dallas Turner.
Yeah,
Dallas Turner was an absolute steal when they got him.
It's like I feel like Dallas Turner and the Vikings were what like the Titans were kind of hoping for when they traded away AJ Brown. It was just kind of like hoping that like Traylon Burks like really steps up and like manifests, and it just didn't like pan out that way. And I think like for the most part, the Vikings were just like, hey, you know what? Bye, Daniel Hunter. Oh, hey, and we'll pick up. And you pick up Dallas Turner. And I really think that's something that like it at least based on like what we've heard from training camp and stuff, it's really coming together. Like he really seems to be a special talent in some regard. Which sucks.
Yeah,
it's cheaper and younger.
Their defense is actually like looking at their depth chart right now. It's not deep in a lot of spots, but like
I mean, it sucks losing Jordan Hicks and Troy Dye, I think. But they
got Van Ginkel, who's solid. And they got Ivan Pace there, anchoring everything down. Blake Cashman's not too bad. He'll get you a bunch of tackles. Jonathan Grenard is a good rotation defensive end, solid.
Sure.
Jerry Tillery, probably not the best defensive tackle you could have gotten, but package him with Harrison Phillips and you got yourself a good tackling duo to stop the run. So, and then if you look at their secondary, they got Byron Murphy, Andrew Booth, Harrison Smith, Cameron Bynum, Shaq Griffin. Like they got some guys on defense, and it's just a giant stamp of Brian Flores. So
their secondary was a problem for like 10 years, it felt like. So it's good that they finally have found the solutions to fix it. I mean, it took them
and they got Shaq Griffin for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
True.
So
yeah. I mean, we'll see. You know, like I like the Aaron Jones pickup. I mean, you're not gonna be able to rely on them to make it all what is it now? 17 games. He's not gonna make it all 17 games,
but eventually
so the backups to step up a little bit, but
might not be a bad option.
18, yeah. But
they do have the Lotion Man as their third string center, Michael Juergens.
Juergens, man.
I think this has become Matt's thing where he just looks at the depth chart and finds the guy with the last name of Juergens.
Why not? I mean, like at this point, this offense looks like they have obviously like a bit of talent, but to me, it doesn't look like they're gonna be able to move the ball a whole lot.
Let's talk about their offensive line, though. I mean,
Yeah, did anyone else see the Alexander Madison like inside the 5-yard low light reel?
I remember it.
Yeah. The thing is though, like I thought it was gonna be a whole thing about how bad Alexander Madison was, but then like the first like 6 highlights were all like pretty much free defenders tackling him behind the line of scrimmage. So
Well,
like,
to be fair, they did have a lot of injuries last year.
yeah. Yeah, they're off.
And Justin, you damn it, Questenberry is still on the team too.
There's no way that Questenberry is still on the team.
I'm looking at the depth chart right now. He's second on the right tackle behind Brian O'Neill.
Not listed under workers.
Anyways,
You're fired.
yep. Pretty much.
Let's see if it goes 4 for 4. Well, we got to see it. We got to see it. Get the show going.
All right. Time to talk about the Green Bay Packers, a team that I'm sure Joe loves to see win.
You love to see it, folks. Just love to see it. Honestly, what's not to say about the Green Bay Packers? Can we skip to Lions? No. Honestly, I think just because it's maybe just a recency bias, but I think there's a lot of speculation on Jordan Love, the new contracts, how expensive it is, what a bet that is, and ooh, man, I think I could just talk about that the whole time. Like I just that topic alone, it's so heavy, it puts a lot of their future at risk. But I mean, when you're trying to aim and hunker down on a quarterback, and if you get the guy, you get the guy, right? And I mean, like you can talk about other things, right? Like Jair Alexander, their secondary, the semi-shaping up, the youth of it all. How Matt LaFleur is like really commanding them to win and like, gear that together. And O-line's decent, and the receiving course coming together. Christian Watson is becoming the guy, apparently. Romeo Doubs is coming into his own. There's a lot to say about the Green Bay Packers, and overall, as a Packers fan, I mean, I can't say I am, but I think I'd be overall relatively satisfied with this current crew.
Yeah, I mean, I think last year there was a lot of questions about if this team can continue under Jordan Love, and I think he proved everybody wrong last year.
Let's wait till everything's done cooking.
I mean, he got into the playoffs in his first season. I mean, you can't be mad about it.
Went to the playoffs, did win a playoff game over the Dallas Cowboys.
But now they've got like an established receiving group that is actually one of the better ones in the NFL now. They brought in Josh Jacobs, who I love, and drafted Marshawn Lloyd. I think that's going to be a tandem. And do they still have A.J. Dillon?
They still have A.J.
Think about
Dillon.
that. And then their offensive line was already pretty good. They lost John Runyon, which sucks. But, I mean, I think he's replaceable. Bakhtiari was aging.
Well, they got Jordan Morgan to take over Runyon's spot.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think they're fine. And then defensively, they got McKinney and Evan Williams. And, I mean, I think Green Bay is going to be a competitor this year. Where did DeGuara go?
Good question. I wasn't sure. I noticed he was on the lossless list, and honestly, the main reason why I put him on the list is because Matt and I saw DeGuara in college. Oh, the Jaguars. In college, Matt and I saw DeGuara put up one of the best hustle plays ever when UC played UCLA. I think they threw a pick or something, and DeGuara ran all the way down the field and tackled the guy before he scored a touchdown.
DK Metcalf style.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
I remember that.
UCLA came out of the drive with 0 points. It was a good moment in that game.
Back to the NFL for a moment. The Packers are the only team in the NFC that everybody thought was going to be terrible last year, and now are like up there this year. Jordan Love got his money. He's good. He's going to continue to play at a high level. Josh Jacobs is, for me, you got an old guy out of there, and you got a guy who wants to go get like some stats, who wants to go win for a proven team. Luke Musgrove, good upcoming young tight end. Offensive line, pretty good, not deep. If there's injuries, they're going to suffer a little bit. Wide receivers, good wide receivers, but I'll be honest with you, they are a bunch of no names. Because when you think of NFL wide receivers, your first thought isn't Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks. Like, you don't go to any of those guys, but they
were tearing it up.
Yeah, they play their role and they know their roles very well. And
Watson, man.
And their defense, I like their offense. Their offense is good, but I think they're still carried by their defense. True. And as long as they don't piss off Jair Alexander and push him out the door, then I think they're going to be very well off this year.
Yeah, well said,
Matt. To bring us back to college for one more time, guess what? One thing Jordan Love did in college, Matt.
He Caleb Williamed his way down the field.
Close. He won the Dingwall Award. He is the only Dingwall Award winner to ever make it to the NFL, and then not only is he only Dingwall Award winner to make it to the NFL, he is also the only Dingwall Award winner to manage to get a second contract. So that's pretty amazing where he came from to where he is now. But yeah, I like the moves this team made. The Packers definitely seem to be a team on the rise. You guys covered it really well. Maybe the only complaint I have is that, they probably could have stood to do more to address their run defense a little bit because, I feel like that's been a problem for them for several years now, and it's still kind of is.
I think Carl Brooks from Bowling Green actually did that job pretty well.
Go Falcons.
And then having Kenny Clark still is a really good option in that too. I think it'll come down to can Quay Walker and Isaiah McDuffie, can they stop the run if they get past Kenny Clark and Carl Brooks?
Can they stay healthy?
Yeah.
That too. Health is a big thing for every NFL team.
Yeah,
true. Very true. Best ability.
Right, I think it's time for the moment we've all been waiting for.
It is Motor City, Dan Campbell, and the Detroit Lions.
What a hunk.
Yeah. I've used this picture for 3 years running, but honestly, there's no better one to use. I can't move away from this.
Justin, they did come out with another picture that I forgot to send to you. They had Dan Campbell, normal size, behind a extra large photoshopped podium.
Oh wait, Joe sent that to us.
Yeah, Joe, you sent that to us, right?
Yes, I think so.
That's the picture that we actually could have used because that actually that encapsulates this pretty well.
That would have been perfect. I guess before I let Joe take it away, your guys, do you think the Lions had some self-awareness of what their problem was? Just look at the key additions.
They swing for the fences, right? When you know what your issue is, right? Pick some there, get some, draft some, sign some free agents, get some corners, man.
So they got DJ Reader to stop the run. That was one big hole. As long as he's healthy, they're gonna have no problem doing that. Terrion Arnold was an absolute steal in this draft for them, and then pairing him with Brian Branch, this is gonna be a sick defense.
With Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson.
Yeah,
and then is a great fill for Jonah Jackson.
Yeah,
and that Ennis Rakeshaw, they would turn around and stole him in the second round. They've revamped the secondary.
Yeah, they took a team that was already good last year and just turned it up to 11.
And they still have bigger, meatier men.
Yeah.
Bigger
Oh,
media,
yeah.
man.
I that does bring out a big question about though, because I think we've been talking about depth, and I think the problem with the Lions is that they are one injury away at any given position to sink, right? I think the big thing that I was thinking about was like receivers, right? You have Sun God, you have Jameson Williams, and then kind of drops off from there, right? Like you don't have
You have a 5'10" white guy named Tom Kennedy out of Bryant.
Yeah. Pretty much, right? So depth is going to be massive. Again, O-line, if it stays healthy, awesome. If it doesn't, there might be some gaps to fill. And is that going to pan out? Hard to say. So I think health is going to remain to be the big thing for them. Can they stay healthy? Can they continue to lead the charge? Keep up what they did last year into this year? Go from there. Honestly, my big thing, I don't think they do it without Ben Johnson. I really don't. I think it was huge that Ben Johnson decided to come back, not be a head coach, and still nail down like unfinished business. So I think, in my opinion, that was probably the biggest thing to happen in NFC North was Ben Johnson deciding to come back for the most part.
I agree. Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, and Dan Campbell are probably the best trio of coaches in the NFL.
I mean, they're really doing it up there. I mean, got to the NFC Championship last year, almost won.
They should have not just almost won. They should have won that game. They thoroughly dominated that first half and just collapsed in the second half.
I think Niners just got lucky. There are a lot of like lucky plays that just kind of like were more or less handed to them. How they caught certain like fly balls and how
certain penalties at certain times.
Yeah. It was like the most Lions second half ever. Like it was the first time all year that we watched a half of Lions football, and we're like, same old Lions.
You mean the Lions Chargers is what you're saying? I think the Lions themselves. I don't know about the Chargers though.
I think I don't know. They may be lacking depth at wide receiver. I get that.
I think I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Lions are I honestly like I always felt like bad for the Lions. Like I always felt like bad for because like they were like the like small cousins. You didn't want to be around. They're annoying. You didn't want to kind of like share space with them. And they pull up and they're like, oh, okay, all right, I see you.
They lack depth at wide receiver, and I think they're going to be a run first team. I think Jahmyr Gibbs
100%.
and what's his name?
David Montgomery.
Thank you, David Montgomery.
Yeah,
I think they're just going to feed that duo. And Jared Goff got paid this year. I mean, he's going to be slinging that thing to Amon-Ra either way.
But I mean, you also have to look at it is if anything happens to Jared Goff, they're grooming Hendon Hooker to be their future quarterback.
Hendon Hooker.
So like maybe we'll see him a little bit to see like in blowouts or whatever, just to see what he can do so they can like because they got to start preparing a little bit before Jared Goff gets too old and it's too late. Because I think their window just opened, and I honestly think the Lions' window is going to be open for a while.
And I think the nice thing about Hendon Hooker was like he was still recovering last season too, right? He was going through all stuff, right? Now you have a fully healthy Hendon Hooker that you can really kind of see unleash like when like the time provides for it and like see where that goes. Like why not?
Jordan Love situation. But just Lions and worse.
yeah.
Jordan Love has to be on the team for like 3 more years.
Right. There's a lot to like about Hendon Hooker, though. I absolutely love that pick they made at the time. You know, knowing that last year was pretty much going to be a redshirt year for him.
What, second round pick?
Third.
Not bad for starting QB.
For a guy with a torn ACL that had first round talent.
Yeah. I mean, it's no Brock Purdy, right? He's not Mr. Relevant, but so like the value isn't quite there. But I mean, if he turns out decent and he learns from Jared Goff, who has a stable hand, stable mentality, keeps calm under pressure, doesn't tend to panic anymore. Because,
I don't think he really panicked. I think it was more of in LA. I think it was more of like Sean McVay has a very complex offense, and you have to have a cannon for an arm. And like Jared Goff isn't the guy that's going to throw the ball out of the stadium. He's a guy that's going to dip and dunk, maybe take a shot down the field every now and then, but his deep ball accuracy isn't that. And the Lions, when they got him, they were like, we don't expect you to throw the ball down the field. Like, we expect you just to hit your targets.
True.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of maturity there too.
Yeah.
You've been through a lot, so I think
California boy moving to the Midwest.
And then back to California.
Yeah.
Not just the Midwest. I mean, up there in the Rust Belt, so it changes you.
Yeah, especially in Detroit.
You love being in the Rust Belt, Justin, don't you?
Oh yeah, we're Rust Belt guys.
Bigger, rustier.
All right.
Yeah, I think we can go to the outlook.
All right, predictions, guys. Joe, you're obviously not on the graphic, but go ahead and give your standing predictions, and then we'll dive into ours.
I think Lions come out on top. I think that's a given. I'm really, really caught between whether Bears actually pull through over the Packers or not. I want to be real and say they don't, but the homer in me just says Lions, Bears, Packers, and then probably Vikings. I don't think the Sam Darnold, JJ McCarthy experiment works out, and I think the Vikings are the ones that suffer for it.
So I disagree. I almost put the Packers first and then the Lions, but I went with the Lions first because I just think they continue building off of what they have. Then you go Packers after them because I think it's going to be real close between the two. It's going to come down to their last matchup of the season, and then I think the Vikings. So I personally think, even though Justin McCarthy's going to have a bad season, I think he's going to have a better season than Caleb Williams. So then I put the Bears last. No offense. Sorry. I am sorry.
They both have good receiving cores. There's both plenty of people to throw to.
Yeah.
We'll see.
He has to do it.
My router wanted to do another update. I don't.
Are you just trying to rob someone's home when their kids own?
It hit like 9 p.m. on the hour.
That parents do updates when we're doing this. Not when I'm editing, not when I'm not even in here, like the rest of the week. But
Got to be ready for Thursday.
I have Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings. I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Vikings offense. Caleb Williams doesn't impress me a whole lot. Packers, Lions could go either way, but I think the Lions are more primed to win that division, and I think they're the most motivated because they've been picked on for eternity.
And I think if we're to pick a win now team, I think it is the Lions. They do check all the boxes.
Yeah, I would have the Lions as a legitimate Super Bowl contender.
Yeah,
and their sections together. Like that was the only thing. That was the only question mark, right? It was like Tampa Bay when Tom Brady came, right? Tampa Bay just needed a quarterback. Lions just needed a secondary to kind of like hold the line, and realistically, they were Swiss cheese. So once that comes together a bit more, once that shores up, and they can kind of pan that out, I think the Lions are the team to beat, and we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, I was torn between the Lions and Packers too. Ultimately, what made me go with the Lions was the problem with LaFleur's teams with the Packers is they always start slow. They take a while to get going, and I think they're going to put themselves too far behind the division race to catch back up to the Lions. Because again, I mean, we're looking at the Lions probably only losing like 4 or 5 games again. So, I mean, the Packers, they lose 3 in like the first 4 weeks, whatever. all of a sudden, they're too far behind to catch them in the division race. So that's what I saw happening there with them. And then I was torn between the Bears and Vikings. Ultimately, I decided I like the Bears' receiving weapons better. They have more weapons, kind of building a little bit more than the Vikings, who just have too many questions for me to put them ahead of the Bears at this point. So I went the Bears in third.
I think it's funny. Like I've noticed with a couple of divisions this year, there's like a definitive line. There's two teams and two teams, and it's basically the ones contending, the ones not contending, and it's like a very definitive line on certain teams. And I think we all agree basically there's going to be the bottom two are the same and the top two are the same.
Although Joe did say that the Bears are probably going to be second.
He's delusional.
That is true. He did put the Bears second.
That said, I think if you were to pick divisions that are really hard, like if you were to kind of like measure them at their base metrics and kind of figure out like which one seems most evenly stacked up against the other, I do think like AFC North and NFC North are probably the most difficult division to figure out. Like you don't like yes, Lions we kind of nailed down, but you don't really know who else kind of ends up behind that, right? Like, and it's what the Lions begin with, right? You could make
if the Lions have their normal luck, then it's very easy for the Packers to win this division.
Absolutely.
I those days are over, dude. I think they're over.
Yeah, but I mean, like if Jameson Williams gets hurt, or if Aiden Hutchinson gets hurt, like they're one big injury away from sliding a couple games down.
Yeah,
that was my beginning with the Lions, right? There was that like if they need to make sure health is their big thing because depth is definitely a factor. And currently, I mean, the only thing they have depth in right now is cornerback, right? So making sure they continue to thwart that and maybe O-line. But at the same time, making sure if they can kind of patch the holes and keep the ship going, we'll see.
Yeah. Joe, you have a food question?
All right.
Yes. Do I ask the question?
You can if you want.
Okay. Okay. So do I propose rankings or do I just ask flat out? Like,
we could do rankings. Like, we could do both, really. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I'm ready to throw down, dude.
I have 24 hours of record time on this. So.
I have 24 hours of record time in me.
Let's just talk other things. All right. All right. What is your favorite style of pizza?
Oh, I know where this is going.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't have, you don't have to go there, Chad.
I like Chicago style. I like New York style and everything in the right situation. I will say I can't eat more than like a piece of Chicago style. I'm so full.
So, yeah, there's two different types of Chicago style. There's like tavern style and then there's deep dish.
I'm talking like Gino's East.
Okay, yeah. I feel you. Yeah. Respect on Gino's
I
East.
love Chicago. Dude, you should have brought up Italian beefs, dude. We could have thrown down.
Italian beefs. I mean,
I love them.
You want to talk Italian beef chains?
I only know a couple.
Okay.
I think probably one. Portillo's. I win.
That's yeah.
There we go.
They're the king. I did go to a place called Uncle Paul's up in New York, and it was extremely good pizza.
There you go.
I'm gonna have to
go to Sbarro for authentic New York pizza.
No, my wife is like mostly Italian and comes from Jersey. So if I say Sbarro to her one more time, I think she might kick me.
So
like
an
office
for me, I might I like Chicago style. I like New York, but I just like a good traditional, finger width, thick crust, not super thick, not super thin, nice sauce. I don't need anything special.
I hear it.
So I will say that Detroit style is kind of creeping its way up.
It's becoming more popular.
I like that hot honey in the crust.
It's becoming the Bears of pizza, where it has a bright future, but right now it just kind of sucks compared to the other two.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up because like I didn't
Bro.
realize Detroit had a style for a little.
Hold
bit,
on,
and
man.
then-
If you got Turbo Crust from Jet's Pizza, my
Yeah,
man, we're not
yeah.
talking by them.
I
Yeah.
love Jets.
Turbo Crust, man.
Yeah.
better because it has to be.
It's turbo.
There you go. Random question. Does anyone like I don't know if they still exist anymore. Does anyone remember like Papa Murphy's? Like your take and bake?
Oh yeah.
I'm like you can't find that around here. I missed that so much.
We have some here somewhere.
Jealous.
Do they exist?
I'm
Anymore?
You come to Freeland, Ohio.
Matt's in the Google machine right now, so we'll see what he comes up with. I'm gonna go with New York style is my favorite. I just love the big slices, the pepperoni on
Yeah.
there. Oh, it's just so good. But
Hang it into your mouth.
that Chicago deep dish also hits different. That is a good one. I like to have everyone calls a little treat.
I'll second on the Brooklyn. Like I remember I went to New York and they had this thing called white pizza where it's just like ricotta, mozzarella, and olive oil. And it was the best. It was like you didn't think it would be like that good, but like ricotta.
Too.
So Papa Murphy's is not in Ohio. It
No?
has 12 cities in Illinois that it's in.
Bro.
Okay, I'm going hunting.
We're going to Papa Murphy's.
Champaign, Bloomington, Decatur, Dixon, Edwardsville, Freeport, Jacksonville, Maline, Normal.
Jacksonville,
Allen.
Illinois.
Yeah, and normal Illinois too.
Yeah.
Illinois State.
Peoria, Springfield, Woodstock, Quincy.
Anywhere but
Woodstock?
Oh,
There's a Woodstock like everywhere.
Far? That's not too far at all. I could go to Woodstock. That'd be okay. That's an hour drive. I could make that.
For just
South Eastwood Drive.
Okay. I could drive to
There
Woodstock.
it is.
That's
What other state do we want to look up for Papa Murphy's? Let's see if they're in Indiana, because that's like a good halfway point for all of us.
there you
Yeah, or Kentucky.
Just meet up, get a slice, take it home.
Yeah.
Buy a pizza, break it up evenly,
Wait, okay.
take it home. with me.
I'll talk about pizza. Let's bring up something controversial.
They have one in Indianapolis.
Or no? Do we do pineapple on pizza or no?
Fuck yeah, we do.
No.
I would say it's not like something that I prefer. I'm gonna say no, but like I had to eat it the other day and it wasn't too bad, but it's like
It's the sweet and salty. It's the
Yeah.
sweet and salty. Develop palates. Adults who have mature palates, Justin, eat sweet and salty because it.
I think you definitely have to be a sweet and salty person.
You look like a
to
12-year-old
want
with a beard.
pineapple. Pretty much, yeah. But yeah, you have to be a sweet and salty person to like pineapple on pizza. For me, like I just want it to be salty. I do
you
not want
also go to a fancy restaurant and order chicken fingers.
Yeah, dude.
I
What
know,
the,
that's
Like-
Jack.
Jalapeno, ham, and pineapple. I feel like you need like a spice component with it to like add like
100%.
another component. Like add
I
another.
feel like bacon. I feel
Yeah.
like
Bacon with
Salty.
the crunch.
Yeah, that's the question.
But
Big-
would you add pineapple to like a hot chicken
See, so
like
like
pizza?
I've done like barbecue chicken pizzas and I put pineapple,
I can see
Yeah,
that.
that's normal.
barbecue
That's
sauce, and like onions and bacon and chicken.
But would you take like a like Cece's pizza?
Whoa, we're dropping the standard here.
It's his router again.
His router was like, "No, we're not going to do Cece's Pizza right now, guys."
It looks like Matt like rebooted, just crashed right there.
I never
Look at
tried-
the cat
I
next to him.
always heard decent things though.
Okay, stuffed crust, yes or no?
Yeah, but it just depends on my mood. I'm not gonna get it every time.
Yeah.
No. Agreed. Yeah, no. If I'm feeling extra or like I know I'm gonna like eat a lot, then yes. But yeah, no, it's a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah, I think every once in a while is a little treat. It's really good.
What do we think about double
What's your guys' favorite chains?
For what pizza?
Are we talking national chains? Talking national?
Matt's gonna be like, I like Donato's and Pizza Hut.
Donato's is not national.
I'm a guilty pleasure. I like Papa John's personally.
I'm gonna probably go with like Pizza Hut. I know, like I'm outside the box on that one.
Didn't I say? Didn't I say it? Thank you for proving me right.
Like what Chad said.
Thanks, bro.
I'm so like Papa John's isn't too bad, but like Chad and I had Papa John's way too much as a kid.
Yeah, it's like gross to me now because honestly,
Not in college, and I can't do Domino's anymore.
I was about to say Domino's is so effing good now.
I know Domino's,
but I had Domino's a bunch.
Quite a turn.
After college, I had Domino's a bunch, and it gave me heartburn so bad.
What's greasy?
Yeah, Matt and I playing NCAA at his apartment. Oh man, we ordered Domino's and Donato's so much back then.
I can't do Donato's. Donato's and Pizza Hut are my no-goes. I don't.
So one story about Donato's. When Sam was pregnant, we ordered a pizza at like 9-10 o'clock at night, and for us it's late, and so we got a medium pizza. I was 3/4 of the way through the pizza before she got done with her first piece.
You guys seen that TikTok trend where it's like
Donato's pizzas, like the way the slices are cut up and everything,
and when they're trying to like eat like a burger or something.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. Megan has not attempted to challenge me, but I've thought about it. Just like for kicks, just kind of like videotaping, just kind of say like, go.
The many views of Matt today.
Yeah, no. Third time I'm in the multiple maps.
I don't know what's going on with the router, but it loves to do these updates during the show.
I like how we have the cat just joining the podcast here.
Oh yeah, this is Garfield.
Garfield's a reoccurring guest.
Yeah, he is. I don't know. I worked in a lot of pizza places. I've run Italian restaurants. I've worked in them basically my whole career, and I am so tired of pizza. I don't know if I can express that. Pizza's just like
pizza's out.
I made deep dish pizzas. I made Neapolitan. I made all sorts of wood fire. I mean,
I feel that.
Back in the day,
I have a question that I feel like requires answering because I feel like you got three guys are the best people to ask this question. Is Skyline Chili worth the hype?
So yeah. If you're from Cincinnati, you're like raised with it. People love it. But if you come to Cincinnati your first time, you're probably gonna look at it and be like, "What the fuck is this slop?" But it's greasy. The cheese is great. I get onions on mine. I get a 4-way, which is with spaghetti. People love the cheese conies. It's like
on Mother's Day they have 3-way specials, and it's like a running joke in Cincinnati. Like, give your mom a 3-way. Is like what they advertise.
The only city that 3-ways are acceptable.
Amazing.
Cholitos are great. What I would propose is that you come to Cincinnati, we go get a couple drinks, tie one on, and then we go get some Skyline.
Oh, so it's drunk food.
I think it was voted the best drunk food.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
I would put it above White Castle for drunk food.
Whoa.
Well above that, White Castle.
Whoa.
Yeah, but dude, they have like the firefighters like 30 case of sliders. You can't beat that.
I will say this though, they took a major hit from me. I used to go there at least once a week to get Skyline. I haven't been in months because they got rid of Pepsi, specifically Mountain Dew, my obsession.
Oh.
It was like a special combination of Mountain Dew and Skyline Chili. It's like the greatest thing ever, and they got rid of it. So I'm fairly upset with
huge,
but there's also
huge controversy. Like it started showing up everywhere on Twitter. Like accounts that aren't even in Cincinnati, maybe you've never even been to Cincinnati, were getting involved with it. Like, no, Skyline should have their Mountain Dew.
Like Kevin from The Office was involved.
Yeah.
But
there's more than just Skyline. Skyline, Gold Star, Empress, Blue Ash, Camp Washington.
Yeah.
Like there's
Is Chili Time still around?
I haven't seen him in a long
St.
time.
Bernard,
Mm.
probably gone.
Dixie
All right,
Chili.
chili time.
The only one that matters, let's be real here, don't you dare waste your time on Gold Star. You go
Yeah.
to Skyline.
Yeah.
That's it.
My
Blue
wife.
Okay.
My wife came from Jersey, moved to Philly, then moved here, and she really, really likes Blue Ash Chili, which is similar to Skyline, but like,
A little more mild.
yeah, a little,
It's more of like a
little
sit-down
meatier
place,
too
kind
instead
of.
of saucy.
So it's like I said, it's like a Greek mole. So it's ground beef. It's got cinnamon, like cloves, chocolates in it.
Honestly, like just try it.
Oregano.
The more you list off the ingredients, the worse it sounds somehow, but it does not taste like the ingredients.
I vibe with that though. I feel like when I think about Skyline Chili, I think it's just kind of like Texas like chili meat on spaghetti, and I think bringing that level of depth to it sounds better.
I think you should expect like sloppy Joe consistency.
Okay, I'll vibe that, especially with fresh.
Maybe like
with some more sloppy.
it's the combination of that and the cheese and everything.
But I will say that the one thing that people not from Cincinnati like that is a Cincinnati thing is Geta.
Oh my God, Geta's so good, dude. I basically moved back to Cincinnati for Geta.
Geta Fest this weekend.
So when I was flying back between California,
so we have a whole festival for it.
There's a couple times I took a 5-pound block of Geta out there with me, and if you don't know, it's like a half pork, half beef, and pin oats.
I've had I went to what's the Belgian waffle place in Cincinnati? Yes. I had Geta there, and that was top notch. That was better than corned beef hash and all that jazz.
But so like the blocks, they come in 5 pounds. They vacuum seal it in like this white packaging, eerily similar to a bomb shape. Not saying that it was, but I had it frozen in my backpack because I was like, I'm gonna get it back to California and get it in my fridge. If it's frozen solid, I should be good. And I got to Vegas and I had to go through security again. And when I got to security, they were like, "Sir, you need us, come over here." They take it out and they were like swabbing it, doing all these tests. They're trying to puncture it. I was like, "Why is it rock hard?" I'm like, "It's frozen solid, dude. It's sausage.
It's a 5-pound block of meat."
Sausage. I was like, "You ever been to Cincinnati?" They're like, "No." I'm like, "Well, there's your problem. Come to Cincinnati."
Usually all you have to say is because more people know what Scrapple is over Geta. So you can just say it's kind of like Scrapple.
It's bigger, meatier Scrapple.
Yeah, it is. It's the offensive line version of Scrapple.
Okay, right.
That's a great point. Amazing.
On that bombshell,
do you put anything on your Geta? Hold on, I gotta ask this. Do you put anything on your Geta?
Not really, no.
So I've been known to put grape jelly on my Geta. Guess what, Justin? Sweet and salty. Also, you
pineapple on pizza.
I bet pineapple and Geta would be great.
That would be pretty good.
I made like sausage gravy with it. I made
like take like spam and like Geta it up and throw like a slice of like grilled pineapple on it. I'd eat that.
All right, guys, we need to get a grill going.
So I want to fuse multiple areas of the country into one. I want Geta rolled into pork roll.
Oh, there we go.
Do you guys follow there's an account on Instagram, his name's El Burrito Monster? You
Is he the guy that makes burritos when he's drunk?
No. He doesn't just make burritos. He makes like beef Wellingtons, slices the shit out of it, and then turns it into a burrito. Because why the fuck
not? Well, we could talk about food for the next 24 hours until this recording ends.
Down to UDF and get some.
We're going
on. Fuck.
But that's all the time we have for this particular segment of Cincinnati food.
Until next Cincinnati episode.
Yeah. By the way, one last football thing to kind of tie it all together and wrap it up out the door. Did you see Xavier Worthy just get blown up off the line and then just smacked by a linebacker?
Yeah, I did see that.
That was
I saw it
hilarious.
shortly before
Okay.
we started recording.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I tweeted it when I left work, and I thought it was the funniest thing. I was like, everyone thinks this guy's going to be the best receiver in this rookie class. I was like, he's 165 pounds soaking wet.
Think again.
I mean,
Yeah.
but he does have Mahomes throwing to him, so. And,
Yeah, and he is.
you know,
quick.
Tyreek Hill was pretty small too.
On another note, apparently Kadarius Toney is looking decent for the Chiefs right now.
He's trying to fight for people.
Well, he's going to make the team and then do some stupid move like line up off sides again and then get cut.
Or drop every pass thrown to him.
He's going
You
to
can't learn, like you can't fix what you don't have. So
He's taking snaps at running back though. Can't drop the ball if it's handed right to you.
So is he the next Cordero Patterson?
Mm.
Yeah.
Ooh, if he stays healthy, because
Yeah.
Cordell Patterson was beastly. Okay, time out. So real quick. Okay, so last question to tie it all together. Who do we think succeeds in this new kickoff format? Like who?
I think it's a dumb rule, the one that I heard the other day.
The onside kick one?
You can't do it before the fourth quarter. You have to be losing, and you have
And
to
you have
Not
to
to
announce it.
announce it,
Yeah,
like
you
I'm
yeah.
kicking an
can't
onside
do your
kick.
Tom Payton Marlins 2010 comeback win.
I would just like line drive it into the first guy's face, and hopefully it bounces back my way every time.
Yeah.
That's not an onside kick.
Yeah, I guess we won't see the Music City Miracle anymore.
No. But
Justin had to
still,
live through that one.
Ruining the game.
Yeah, I agree.
Over managing in the wrong spots.
Well,
On that depressing bombshell,
or anything.
we're calling it. We'll see you guys.
See you, everybody.